you is that actually I would say you recover pretty quickly too. I was going to say it would be unfair that I go like this. I get sick and then I just go, yeah, I'll be healthy in 2 days. And then I am, but then I leave a 2 weeks long illness in my wake. That would suck. But I would say that you are reasonably quick.
That's true.
Quick on the rebound.
It's more just like, stop getting me sick, pal.
Yeah. I was saying to Dan on the way in, it's what's the fucking what's Rob Lowe's name in Parks and Rec?
Chris
Traeger. He goes, my body is a microchip,
dude. A single grain of sand.
I have definitely become I used to be like, I'll sleep 1 hour every night and I'm a sick man.
Yeah.
But not sick here.
He still is,
Sick
I assure you.
But now it's like, I'm trying to get more sleep to be healthy, so I do. And then the nights where it's like, you have to wake up in 3 hours and take a flight to Boston. That immediately I start to feel sick the next day. And here's a big flaw.
It looks like we were muted for a second, so I just want to let the chat know that we're talking about the fact that Chris is a sick piece of shit again, and he gets everyone sick around him.
But we did it, right? We're good now?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We are money.
I wish, and sometimes it's not my fault because of the nature of the trip, but when I sleep 2 hours and then get on that double connections 5-hour layover flight where you're in the cesspool of an airport for literally the whole day, if you just the next day, literally, if the next day you just went like this, I'm going to get some rest, not drink, and take some medicine, you would be immediately not sick.
Yeah.
But I'm like at a wedding, So it's like you get that tickle and then they're like, and then now please rage and not sleep. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I have no choice.
Yeah, like that didn't help, If the tickle had come on the way back, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But here we are, and I'll be healthy on Friday just in time to get sick again on Saturday night.
The fact that you have that mentality is just like,
if you're not getting sick Saturday night, you're not trying, pal. You're not fucking trying.
We do have a wedding, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 5 a.m. afters. So, just in time, dude. Let's fucking strap in, dude. Get your sick clothes on, dude. Let's watch a movie on Sunday.
I wish people, we're getting more of it, but I need you all to see what I deal with all the time. There, producer Edge, who's here with us in studio, gives me shit all the time for being a grump. And I'm like, here's an idea. Here's a thought. Why don't you live with this person for 1 week? See what it does to you.
Be the happiest person you've ever been in your life.
Deal with the bullshit that I have to deal with by being around you. It's like, that's what turns me into the Grinch.
Yeah. Well, the Grinch is a cool dude if you get to know him.
I just need a Cindy Lou Who in my life. We got a lot to talk about before we get into the yet another shit kicking by the Edmonton Oilers last night. A little bit of news, possibly. We're waiting for the official break. Wink, wink. Boston Bruins might have a new head coach.
Yeah.
Ed, should I turn these lights on?
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. The Bees might have a new head coach, and for the most part, a lot of people I'm talking to are happy about it. I've seen some people who are very unhappy on Twitter, but for the most part, yeah.
That one tweet that I shared with you?
Yeah.
Dude, chat. So the Boston Bruins, looks like Marco Sturm is about to be named the head coach of the Boston Bruins. Sturm played for the Boston Bruins for a long time. Big part of the Joe Thornton trade. He has been a coach for the Ontario Reign for a while now. He's a great NHL-ready coach. Our boy, friend of the program, Nate Thompson, obviously has done a lot of work with the Ontario Reign. Huge fan of Marco Sturm. He was like, that's a great hire for Boston. One guy on Twitter, I always love, like, you go to a coffee shop and it goes, come to Edge's coffee shop, where one person said it's the worst cup of coffee he's ever had in his entire life. Yeah. It's like a Yelp review. Yeah. This one guy was like, I cannot believe this absolute joke piece of shit franchise is hiring this clown. It's just another desperate move from a pathetic regime. I'm embarrassed to be a Bruins fan today. And I was like, Jesus Christ, pal. So, it looks like the Boston Bruins have a new head coach. And this is everything I've been screaming. I've been saying, follow the leader. Hire new young coaches, people who are friends of the program, people as in the team, not us, and get some guys in who know the culture, who were there when guys like Bergeron, Char were there. I mean, like I want Patrice Bergeron head coach, and I want Zdeno Chara GM. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But this is step one towards that. I will say my big gripe, once it becomes official that Marco Sturm is the head coach of the Boston Bruins, you're 1 year too late. Because there was a whisper that Leon Draisaitl wouldn't sign his extension and he would come and sign with the Boston Bruins and play with his good buddy David Pastrnak. And if you had a German head coach, that would have been very possible, but it's 1 year too late. So
great call by you. And I'm with you on, I did see a tweet too that said, I texted to you and Tom, that was like the Bees are still trying to justify the Joe Thornton trade. Just being like, we got good return for Joe.
Yeah.
We got good return for Jumbo. And I was like, that is fucking gold, because that is the worst trade of all time. But if it got you this head coach, okay, maybe. And I like that it wasn't somebody old. I like that it wasn't somebody old.
Yeah, Chris.
And he's I think the era of players, coaches is a thing. I think he and Tomer said to us he can get a lot out of the talent he's given. And not even trying to chirp the Bees' current roster. I'm just saying it's a good thing to have a guy who can really make the sum of his parts, or the whole, greater than the sum of his parts. And it sounds like he can do that. So
yeah,
that would be good. But I do wonder if there's a little bit of just welcome to the NHL growing pains with him in a time when Bees fans aren't really that interested in a window of growing pains here.
Dude, that's a fair question, but I think if there are Bruins fans who have that mentality, my message to you is,
well, strap in.
Yeah, wake up.
Yeah.
Buckle the seatbelt, because there's a big chance that you're missing playoffs here. Hopefully they don't, if you're a Bruins fan and Bruins players. But I look at it, the veterans on this team, guys like Pasta, McAvoy, Sway, Hampus, and then all the way down to Elias Lindholm, Elias Lindholm, Geeky. Those guys they're fine. I don't think they're going to be rattled by a young coach. In fact, I think they'll love it. I know a guy like Charlie will very much embrace that. Probably going to be the next captain of this team.
Yep.
What I think this move is great. What I love about this move, rather, is you do have a lot of guys like Fraser Minton, like Fabian Lysell, like Kuznetsov, like Georgi Merkulov, guys who have been playing a lot of AHL minutes in the last 3 years, who are looking to make that jump to a permanent NHL player.
Yep.
And you get a guy who just coached in the AHL. He knows how to handle players like that. He has been in the NHL recently. I think it's a really good hire. You could get a guy like Quenneville in Anaheim, for example, who, I mean, Quenneville his hockey coaching ability is very good.
Yeah.
But you wonder at this point in his career and this age, does he have time for a bunch of young AHLers trying to break in? That might sound like an ignorant statement, but like I do think it's something that's, a guy like Quenneville is like, I'm trying to win one more cup before I'm done.
Yeah.
Not a guy like Marco Sturm who's like, I'm in this for the long haul.
Trying to make a
like,
career
let's
out
try
of
to
this
build
thing.
something here. So I think it's a good move. Amidst a year plus of some shitty times in Boston, I think that this is a good sign.
Okay, I'm with you, dude. It's that's a good take. I like because if the Bees are going to have a brighter future, it's those younger kids making that step finally. And I don't know if Marco Sturm can definitely do that, but I like the idea that maybe he can.
Yeah. You want to get into some Oilers chat?
Yeah, I really do.
And Stars chat.
Well,
all right, let's kick it. Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars, Game 4 at Rogers Place in Edmonton. Another win for the Oilers. They are 1 win away from the good old gentleman's sweep. Wow, how the tides have turned since Game 1. And that's not a chirp at Dallas. It's not a chirp at the fans, but there was just a feeling, much like in LA when LA won games 1 and 2 in round 1, where this might be different. This team this team is the one to beat this Edmonton Oilers group. And now here we are, 3-1 Oilers. Holy shit.
It's the game. I said many times after game one that the Oilers were pummeling them.
Yeah.
And you lost. They lost. So I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but it was 3 correct calls, but it was 3 power play goals that snuck by my boy Stu. And Dallas gets to win that game. And you're right. Everybody in the Dallas fan base and probably on that team was doing this, dude. Oh, we wanted this rematch so bad. Oh. We're fucking ready to go. And then you get ragdolled for 2 periods. And I was like, oh, did you want this rematch that bad? And then the third period happened. And they were able to spin zone it so hard going, yeah, see, this is the difference. The Dallas team last year folds after that first period at home and in this series. The Dallas team this year rams 3 power play goals and 5 total goals against a team that was like plus 10 in the third period in the playoffs. Hands them a -5 in the third period and goes, get fucked. This is Dallas 2025. This is how this looks. Strap in. You're about to get swept. And the Oilers literally were like this. That is high comedy. You have outplayed us for 1 period in this whole series. It should have been we should have swept you by now. I can't believe you're even still in the playoffs, Dallas. Yeah. That's how it feels. And I'm going to get into some of the mental shit later, but that is they must feel horrible. Like the Stars fans must be like, oh my God, I literally cannot believe I said out loud that I wanted to play this team.
Yeah, it's I feel like the morale is so low.
Yep.
It's so low, and there's a few there are a few fans, there's a few people who are, still holding on to belief, and I love that. I love that for the fans. But I'm not going to lie, man. God, there's so much Coachella talk in the chat. We'll get to it, guys. Podcast that comes out tomorrow. CP is going to expose this piece of shit.
Wow.
So here's the thing. I feel like there's a couple of things that are going on that are driving Dallas fans nuts. As an Oilers fan, Whit said after game 3, I believe. 3 was the no call on the delay of game. I think.
Yes. Clear straight over the board.
It's not only was it clear straight over the boards, it was looked at.
It was huddled. They didn't look at it. That's the difference. Because
they stopped and huddled.
Yeah.
There's a discussion.
Yep.
And you're telling me not a single one of those guys on the ice saw that go clear and out when everyone else does? Huge bummer. And then that leads directly to an Edmonton Oilers goal.
Yep.
And then in this game, in my opinion, slightly soft call on Jamie Benn. But I do want to say I hated the call on Klingberg, too. I think it was Klingberg that got the first penalty. It was a holding call that gave Dallas power play. I hated that call, too. So let's be clear. I'm not saying any team is getting favored, but there's just been a lot of soft, bad and missed calls in this series. And I'm not complaining about the refs. You know my take on that. It's just shut up and play. It happens every series, every game. The difference is, the reason I'm bringing it up, and this is a credit to the Oilers, every single bad or missed call in this series has felt like immediately the Oilers score. It's like it is an immediate capitalization, which again, great job, Edmonton. Like when you get your chance, you got to take it. And that's what I've been saying about this Oilers team is they get a moment. They get one moment of bad call, missed call, moment of weakness from Dallas, a misplay and boom, they score.
Yep.
That's why they're winning. That's why they've lost fucking 4 games in these playoffs, and they're on their way to a gentleman's sweep. It's because they take every chance they're given. If you are Dallas, however, good God, do you feel like you're not being given a chance? And I'm not saying by the refs, it's like by the momentum.
Yep.
It's just like you are always down. You're always fighting back. And this Oilers team doesn't let you fight back.
I want to say quick shout out to Cheryl in the chat because I love this comment. Any team that calls out asking to play a certain team seems to go badly for them. And I'm like, agree. Although we want Florida, we want Edmonton. I'm like, I have an idea. Shut the fuck up.
You should just go like this. We would like to keep playing hockey. We'd
Yeah.
like to just keep doing this.
Or literally full reverse. Like, actually, I'm terrified of Edmonton. They are so good.
Don't
I'm
wanna
really
play anyone.
nervous about them. I would rather not play the Oilers.
Totally.
They're better than me. Try that on for size.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Little respect for your opponent, perhaps.
I said one of the lives last week. I dubbed the Leafs the emergency response team, which they were for a while, and I have dubbed the Oilers the executioners because it's not just because they end your season, but they execute in those moments. You are so right. Ooh, soft call gives Dallas a power play. Oh, we can't score on the power play. We can't take advantage. Can't take the lead. Soft call gives Edmonton a power play. Goal. You're dead. Bang. Put your neck in the guillotine, dude. See you later. The executioners, every time they get a bounce, every time they get a break, it's in the back of your net. Florida has that a bit too. Rod the Bod, he'd even said in game 1, remember, he's like, they only had 20 shots, but they had 5 chances and all 5 end up in our net. That's the mark of the teams that make it in the playoffs. You get your bounce, you pounce on it every fucking time. And the Oilers have been doing that this entire playoff run. We had that comment forever ago. It takes 60 minutes to beat the Oilers. They need 5 minutes to beat you because the puck swings one way. So, dude, so many times in this series, it'll be Dallas with a 45-second zone time shift, a bunch of shots, missing net, bouncing all around, rebound, nothing gets on their stick. And then at the end of the shift, one bounce turns into a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 the other way, and it's a goal. You're like, fuck! And that's what it's like playing the executioners, dude. That's what happens every time.
For sure. It's so well said. It is interesting how I think in the beginning, man, definitely against LA, I don't think this Oilers team had fully figured it out yet. I don't think they had fully clicked yet, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, I'm like, I think I said it after game 3. The Oilers are playing the best they played all playoffs. Mm-hmm. They are getting better. They're genuinely getting better every single day. You made the fucking Goblin made reference. Yeah. And it's true. That's what's terrifying about this Oilers group is that they are in their best form. And early against LA, even against Vegas for a couple games, I didn't think they were that good. I thought they were getting outplayed multiple games. And it was that reality of the 5 minutes versus 60. Yeah. All they needed was a little bit of momentum and they would still win. They were doing that. Now they're playing incredible. I think that they have, what are we through, 4 games here? So we've had, quick math, DP, 12 periods. I think they've won 10 periods. Truly. I think period 3 in game 1, and I think period 2 in game 2 or 3 when they had...
Period 2 in game 3, and honestly, the first period last night, Dallas beat the fucking wheels off them.
But did they?
Yeah.
Was there a single shot that was good? Like, yeah, they outshot them. They were buzzing all over the place, but they looked like chickens with their fucking heads cut off. Dallas was running around the zone. They were all over the place. Sure. But did they have a single good scoring chance? There was the one we thought, what a save by Stu, but it hit the skirt of the net.
Yeah, but that's a scoring chance because he just shoots it. The net is wide open. Like
he missed the net, though.
Agreed.
I don't give a fuck if it was a scoring chance. If you missed the net.
You just said, did they have sscoring chances?
No,
yes.
I
disagree.
They had
a ton of scoring chances.
If you don't hit the net, that's not a scoring chance.
Dude, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You stink because if Stu Skinner was behind
that
the
is
net,
my point. You stink.
Yeah, but they had a ton. They outchanced them 10-1 in the first period.
Yeah, and none of them was like we talked about it the other day, dude. XG scoring chance. A 3-on-1 with Connor McDavid isn't a scoring chance according to fucking XG and your nerdy stat bullshit. Fuck you. They were all over the place, yes, but they never once threatened Stu, and they were losing 1-0 at the end of the fucking period. So if you want to call that a win of a period, be my guest, and the Oilers will go, yeah, good job. Win all those periods all you fucking want. You aren't scoring. You're not threatening our goalie. You fucking stink. So
I agree the Oilers don't care who's winning periods. They care who's winning games. I agree the Oilers think the Stars stink. I completely disagree that the Stars didn't win that period and Stu wasn't tested. Don't ever talk about my best friend that way again, because Stu Skinner is...
Did I say he was bad? No, I said
he wasn't even tested, and
because he's so good.
He deserves the credit because he was fucking great. He was great all game, but he was great in that first period. That could have been 3-0 Dallas.
You trying to spin zone this to me talking bad about our good friend Stu is bullshit. Fuck you.
He was tested. Say it out loud into that microphone right now.
He was tested.
Thank you. Because he was fucking awesome in that first period.
He was tested.
Dallas outplayed them and outshot them.
But not tested heavily per his standards because he's so good.
Okay, I agree with that, dude. Now we're back on track because Stu could take the SAT right now, dude. There is no test that this man cannot pass with flying colors. So yes, Dallas can win a million fucking periods that they want. They're certainly not going to win any fucking games because they can't score on Stu, and they'll never be able to score on Stu.
Correct. Something I want to talk about with the just attitude of these teams. I think that there's been too much respect for the Oilers in a lot of these opponents, certainly in LA.
By their opponents, you mean?
Yeah. Certainly in LA. LA gets through games 1 and 2, and then they kind of had this like cocky, like they were like, we're going to sweep, dude.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is you need to acknowledge when you're playing a father.
Yeah.
You do.
Correct.
You need to acknowledge when you're playing a father, and you can't ever be cocky because you could be up HORS to nothing in a game of horse against your dad, and then he will fucking dunk on you 5 straight times and beat you.
Yeah.
You need to have that mentality when you're playing a team like this who has had your GOAT. LA fucked that up. Vegas didn't have that history with this team, but knowing that Edmonton went to the Cup the prior year, they didn't have that respect for this team. And Dallas being we want this matchup. We want to get them back. Dude, you're playing your dad.
Yeah.
Have some fucking respect and know that you need to battle.
No, he's stronger than you. He's wiser than you.
We saw Darnell Nurse two-hand hack the top of Rupe Hintz's foot in game 2. Mm-hmm. Probably broke his foot.
Yep.
If not broken, it's very, very injured. He missed game 3. Dallas loses. And then he comes back in this game. In the first period of this game, far away from the play, Evan Bouchard skates by Rupe Hintz and two-hand, not hacks him, but two-hand slashes him on top of that hurt foot.
Yep.
I want to say loud and clear, I fucking love it. I think it is prime shithousery. It is perfect playoff energy. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is the stuff that fans don't want to hear. Brad Marchand called it out when Sam Bennett donkey punched him when Brad was on the Bruins.
Yep.
This is playoffs, dude. Like, we're trying to hurt each other. We're trying, like, you might be too bashful to hear that type of talk, but it's true.
Yep.
I love it from Bouchard. Like, that is shithousery to a T, and shithousery is a good term, guys. That is like, you're getting under your opponent's skin. It's gamesmanship. You have to, if you're not okay with that, you're not going to go far. Your team's not going to win. What I will say, as much as I love that, the second he did that, if I am DeBoer, I am looking down the bench and I'm finding Petrovic and I'm going, literally go Aaron Judge baseball bat Evan Bouchard in the back of the knees, rip his helmet off and bash his face in.
Yeah.
Get in a fight.
Yep.
Because you're letting the Oilers go. Like, responding to that isn't letting the Oilers into your head. Doing nothing is letting them in your head. It's being like, they're kind of doing whatever they want.
Yep.
You have to send a message and respond to that. Look at what Matthew Tkachuk did to Sebastian Aho after the hit on Rhino. Like, you get in a fight for this. Again, I love it by Bouchard, and it worked for the Oilers. If you're the Stars and you don't respond to that in that game, you're fucked. And they lose, and I'm not saying they lose because of that. But, dude, if you had immediately responded to that and been like, I don't give a fuck if we're down in this game. I don't give a fuck if this gets someone kicked out of the game or a 5-minute major. You can't fucking do that to our star center. Are you fucking crazy? And the fact that they just didn't do anything was a wild sign to me. Like, that to me was similar to when Osh said, if you look at the bench and guys are yapping at each other, dude, if you got a bench of boys who aren't sticking up for each other, let alone your number one center, that's a horrible sign. And to me, it's too little too late now. Like, yeah, you can go to the airplane hangar in Dallas for game 5 and you can maybe try to send a message, but like, dude, Evan Bouchard, a guy who's third, fourth, I think he's third in points on this Oilers team. Yeah. He's doing shithousery like that. Again, I love it, but you gotta respond, dude. You got to go over there and fucking two-hand him. Snap your twig over his fucking wrist. Knock him out of the series. Like, it sounds crazy and malicious. I'm never wishing for someone to get hurt. But if you have a guy who is clearly trying to injure your player, go try to injure him back. Like this is the game, baby. Get in the fucking mud.
Agree. I wish someone had on the ice had done it, because then it wouldn't even cost you a penalty. If you send someone out after and you're like, hey, go run Bouchard, you go down, you should do it, but then you go down a man and then Edmonton immediately scores, and then you've now lost the game. So I could kind of see them being like, well, this has fucked us.
Yeah.
But I wish someone on the ice had just turned around and cross-checked Bouchard right here,
Yeah.
because the refs would have gone, stop
No
it.
blood, yeah.
Just Christ, or both of you, or whatever, because you got to do something. And you kind of inspired me with the passion there, but I didn't like there's trying to hurt guys, and there's what that was behind the play. And I'm picking such a fine line here, so I'm probably going to talk myself out of this as I go. But if you're digging on a wall and he has the puck, I wouldn't even mind that hard if you're whacking at the puck and you kind of like give him one on the foot too. That one was so behind the play on a dude who is a respected guy in this league and who is hurt because of a behind the play cheap shot too. Like it's one thing if you're a guy's like, oh, I sprained my wrist in like a good hockey play, and then later you're kind of like hitting on it. There was just, that one was so Bush League that I was like, bro.
From Bouchard?
Yeah. And you like I said, your passion, I get it. It's playoff hockey.
Like if Marshy did that on the Bruins, you wouldn't love it?
I would laugh, but I would go like this. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's shithousery. It's not, like there are a lot of people who've been like, it's not a hockey play. And I'm like, I know.
Well, the only feather in my cap is that in the first period intermission, Chris Rooney there's a video of he pulls Knobloch and Bouchard over and he goes, if you do that again, you're tossed. Fucking stop, dude.
After the Bouchard hack?
He pulled them during the intermission. He was like, that is complete clown show bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that. And I love Runes for that, because that was my stance, where I was like, dude, you want to like whack him when he's got the puck or something, fine. But literally walking up behind the play and hitting a dude on his broken foot that your other D partner broke his foot with another cheap shot slash that was also not called, or it was a minor penalty.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on. So that one rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And I'm probably coming off soft because playoff hockey, they are trying to hurt each other. But that one was just so crazy to me. And like with the look on Bouchard's face too, he like went to the bench kind of just being like, what? And I was like, dude,
you got to do
doing,
that, dude.
Dude? God damn it.
You got to do that, right? You got to be like this. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. I was like, come on.
That I do love that. That is it's a cool move by Runes. What I find is interesting. What's your take on this? And I want to get into a couple of the other injury / cheap shot plays in this game. What's your take on him not getting a fine? Like, if that is said by Chris Rooney, how do you not get a fine? Like,
maybe he does. I guess they've probably announced there's nothing already.
I think today I'm like, you have to find Evan Bouchard.
It's
because again, it's what we keep saying, dude. This $5,000 means absolutely nothing to him.
Yeah.
But it's a message to the league and to the fans. It helps the fans calm down.
Yeah.
Like that probably should have been a penalty, but it is what it is.
I almost like don't even care. Yeah, I would actually take the fine over the penalty, because it wasn't hard enough for me to go, that was a malicious penalty, but it was dickhead enough that I'm like, you have been fined $5,000 for being a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
And I kind of support that.
This isn't a shot at Rupe. I couldn't believe when it happened. Rupe like immediately reacts. He's like, what the fuck? And he kind of like throws, dude. And maybe this is credit to Rupe. If that were me, I would have two-handed him in the face.
I would have
If I was injured
and
someone did that, I think my wires would have crossed so bad that I would have attempted murder. I'm so impressed with his restraint, or annoyed with it, because I'm like, dude, get him back for that.
I would have whacked him back on the foot. Like I would have literally turned back around.
Oh, I would have slashed him in the chest. Like I would have been so out of control in that moment. Oh, Jesus. I want to talk about the granny hit on Perry on the blue line, and then the play that injured Zach Hyman, because we've got to talk about Zach Hyman. Obviously, terrible news. It looks like Zach Hyman is done for the playoffs.
Yep.
But let's talk about the granny one. What did you think about that play? A lot when Dallas fans were kind of bitching about some of the calls, there were a lot of people being like, well, what about the fucking play by Granlund? That one was interesting to me, because it was the reason I think it wasn't called, chat fans, people who need to hear this. I think that wasn't called because Dallas had possession. trying to zone entry, and Granlund is making an offensive move, cutting across the blue line to try to get in. And Perry is skating backwards, not looking in Granlund's lane. And it could have been chalked up as Granny's looking at the puck. Like, he's looking at the play. He's not looking at Perry. But I am also here to tell you, Granlund definitely saw Perry and definitely threw his stick out, putting a cross check right in the back ribs of Corey Perry, and expertly played it off like, he's in my fucking lane, dude. I'm skating on the blue line.
Dude, I can't. Everything you just said is the correct analysis of what happened. But that Dallas fans, Dallas team want to be like, we're getting fucking screwed here. That one is a penalty to me, because under no circumstances is he not looking at him. And I've seen plays. I've seen exactly those plays where the guys genuinely aren't looking. Yeah. And they get hurt because you're like, fuck, that hurt. I wasn't, knocked the wind out of me. My body wasn't prepped for the impact. He's looking almost, it's not even like one of these where I'm looking at you, I can see you, but I'm not looking at you. He's almost just like this, dude. Like you look at the replay and I'm like, he's looking directly at Corey Perry's back. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you could have moved around him. Now, Perry is not looking and is in his way to a degree, but he could have got around him, and he was like, I'm going to pump him.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Given that Dallas has possession and Granlund is making an offensive move, if Perry was facing Granlund and they bumped, in my opinion, there's more of an argument for an interference call on Perry.
Fair. If he's truly getting in his way on purpose.
Yes. So like when you're like, Granlund could have got around him, here my point is this. Granlund could have got around him by jumping into the offensive zone and going offside.
Yeah.
Right? So like that is, I'm telling you guys right now, like that rule there is interference. Like if Granlund was skating in the blue line, the puck's nowhere near him, and Perry just runs into him, and he goes off. They would be like, "That's interference, dude."
Yeah, right.
Now, the reason it wasn't called, I think, predominantly is that would have been a soft call.
Yeah,
but it is like, it sucks that Perry was banged up for a second, but he came back and scored, so everyone fucking calmed down. It was just a funny play.
It was a funny play.
I'm very happy that Perry's okay, so it makes it funny. But it was one of those ones where I'm like, you can't call that, but Granlund definitely saw him.
Oh my God. And Granny, dude, not to tangent too hard, but Granny took that penalty on Draisaitl with fucking 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
After he kind of fumbled the puck, Draisaitl takes it and then he's trying to get it back and gets in his skate.
Yeah.
And I think live we were both like, that was a little tight, especially at that time, but it sticks in his skate, dude. And Granny had that Hattie against Winnipeg, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember coming on one of these being like, there's the guy you traded for. Huge moment for him. Hadn't had a goal, or had one goal maybe, and then has that hat trick. Dude, he hasn't done shit since then.
Yeah.
And no one was more mad at himself than him when he took that penalty on Draisaitl. But I'm like, dude, I need you to not be like hitting Perry in the back and tripping Draisaitl and maybe scoring more goals.
Yeah.
If we're all gonna go, this is the deepest top 9 forward group I've ever seen in NHL history enter a playoff. Yeah. And no one's doing anything except for Mikko Rantanen, who also hasn't done shit in 7 games.
Yeah, a disaster. I do want to say quickly about Perry. Since 2000, the Boston Bruins have played 208 playoff games. The Lightning have played 218. The Penguins have played 219. Corey Perry has played 230.
Wow, that is sick.
Fun stat from the Worm.
God, good for him, dude. What a fucking career.
Now let's get into Zach Hyman. Weird play there. What did you see on that one?
Extremely weird. That anyone saying, and first of all, and I think Declan calls it out. A couple people in the chat have already said, Knobloch announced he's getting surgery and he's done.
We posted it. Elliot Friedman said it. Yeah, but Knobloch said he's getting surgery today and he's likely done for the playoffs, which means he is done for the playoffs. So I think it would be a miracle if he came back, which fucking blows.
So yes, absolutely blows.
Yeah. I just want to chime in and say for, any Dallas fans who might be like, good or whatever, Zach Hyman's one of the best guys in the league.
Yep.
Like just a good human being. So you hate this anytime you see a player leave, but just the added element of how good of a dude he is makes this really suck. Hate to see it.
So, but with that, all that said, that one wasn't a cheap hit to me. That one looked so fluky, freaky. Like he was like only Hyman knew he was hurt. Like he it comes across his arms and he immediately was like, I'm done. But I was like, what the fuck just happened? Did he hit your stick? It looked like.
Yeah. There were some people, again, in all of the discourse going on, people talking about, the slash on hit, Sean, our boy at What Chaos, I think he was being like, stop talking about the hint slash because of that Hyman hit. And I genuinely asking, I was like, did you think that was dirty? Because I didn't think it was dirty. Like that was they barely touched. And I don't think that there was any lunge, but I don't even know who it was on Dallas.
I think it was Marchment, I think.
I think it was Marchment. Like I didn't really see much of a lunge. I don't know. But my wonder is, Chris, was there a existing injury? Like maybe it's a shoulder, maybe it's a dislocation or something.
Look at this, dude.
Yeah, like Marchman
He literally doesn't touch him.
Yeah, and he throws a shoulder, like maybe there's going to be contact.
He's trying to hit him, and he literally just hits his stick coming across.
But there's no leg contact. It's not below the knee or the hip. It's just like it hits his hands.
Yeah, God, he knows right away.
And he drops his stick immediately. Looks like he's favoring that right side. And it's like, it looks like it's a wrist or maybe a shoulder, but like, I wonder if there was an existing injury there that just aggravated to the point of no return.
Yeah.
But just a shitty play, really unlucky.
Yeah, because this one, it's like Hyman makes the pass. That's not late at all. And I give Hyman a lot of credit because this is something we were talking about on the Jarvie play the other night. Hyman makes that pass, and then immediately his head up because he's like, someone's coming. I'm not gonna look at this backhand pass and get murdered. So he picks his head up, sees him coming, and braces like this. Yeah. Marchman comes right across the front. So sucks so bad that he's hurt.
Hate to see it.
But for me, I don't know what the chat's saying, but that one didn't look cheap at all to me.
For sure. Hit me with some stats going on in this series and from this game, and then we're going to bring on Johnny Laz into the chat, which will be fun.
Cool. Just to start, I would say the Oilers' power play got so much hate coming into the season because last year they had the best power play in the league, and this year it wasn't that good. And then coming into the King series, they weren't doing that much on it, and I was like, wow, that's been such a weapon for them. And this is a narrative already where it's like the Oilers 5-on-5 is really what's winning them the playoff games. Mm-hmm. But the Oilers' power play is 9 for 16 at home in the playoffs. And that has gone under the radar because they've been really poor on the road. So when you look at the actual averaging out of their power play, it's only okay.
Yeah.
But in Rogers Place, you cannot take penalties against them because they're scoring at well over a 50% rate, which is what they were doing last year. Remember, like he was like, oh, that Oilers power play. Yeah. So this whole narrative of like, oh, their power play's been slowing down isn't true at home, which is why you can't dump home games. Like you can't lose in Dallas and then go to Edmonton because you're like, well, they're gonna fucking kill us on the power play alone.
Yeah, no, you really can't. And you pointed out Dallas has trailed in 14 of 17 games these playoffs. 4 of those have been this series, right? Like they've
trailed all 4. Yep.
Yeah. So, but even without that, it would have been 10 of 17.
Yep.
So, or not 17, but you get what I'm saying. I think the crazy thing is like this Dallas team is like, yeah, we go down all the time. Like we're always fighting from behind. When I look back at this series, like I picked Oilers in 7. We almost should have said Oilers in fucking 5 because it's like if they were gonna win, if there's a team that you can't go down against, like if that's Dallas's MO, they're like, we always go down. I'm like, well, you're gonna lose this series because this is not a team you can go down against.
I completely agree, man. This whole thing, like I couldn't believe when I looked it up that it was 14 of 17. You can't. It is. I'm sure a ton of people in the chat played. You can't be expending this, chasing the game energy this often. You just can't do it, dude. No. It is too hard. You're playing teams that are too good, and we're the comeback kids, blah, blah, blah. Dude, that doesn't matter, dude. You just can't. You need to try scoring first in a fucking game one time.
Seriously.
See what it's like making them change their game and try to chase it a little bit. Trailing like this, you brought up that stat forever ago that was like the chances, the chance plus minus, and it was like Dallas chances are minus 49 and the fucking Oilers and the Jets and the Panthers are all plus 80. And it's like through 2 series, I was like, well, that's all right because Dallas, it doesn't matter. Like they have Otter and they can survive this. You can't survive this anymore. You cannot survive being outchanced and outplayed and obviously outscored, but the just chasing the game so much, it takes too much out of you and makes you play not your style of hockey.
Yeah.
Ever. So, it's just outrageous that that's what they've been doing this entire playoff. I can't even believe they're this far.
Agree. Let's bring in Johnny Laz and see what he has to say about this series.
What's up?
What up, Laz? How you doing?
I'm good, guys. No lake talk today, hopefully. CP?
No, dude. I want to dig on. We actually brought you in to dig in on the train division. Dude, someone chatted, someone messaged Amtrak division, and I was like, that actually sounds way cooler. I like that. I like the
cooler.
Amtrak division more than train.
That does sound cooler. I have a couple of thoughts though, just from listening to the last like 10 minutes. If you guys
Okay, hell yeah, just go right into it.
allow me to have the floor. One of the I don't want to say beautiful things because these are both kind of like not bad things, but like injury stuff is like always weird to talk about. But something about hockey that's always like kind of funny, I guess, in some sort of way or sick twisted way. The Granlund play on Perry, the first goal of the game, Perry sets that pick on Granlund, opens up the passing seam from Nugent Hopkins to Draisaitl, bang, goal 1-0. Probably should have been called a penalty on Perry for
definitely should have been called a penalty.
And then Marchment hurting Hyman. I don't remember if Marchment was hurt, but I remember there being discussion of a possible like suspension last year. Marchment was like, I think opening up for a breakout pass in his own zone, and Hyman cross-checked him right from behind, and he didn't have the puck. So,
dude, you're right.
You remember that?
100%, you're right. Wow.
So there's just like these weird ways of how the same two guys always seem to come back full circle of some sort. But I don't know. That just came to my mind when I saw the Granlund thing. I didn't really realize till this morning, like watching the goal back. Like last night, I didn't pick up on that. But the Hyman thing, I was like, damn, I remember him getting Marchment pretty bad last year. And I also think that hit, I think Marchment just mistimed it.
Me too, dude.
He definitely does. We were just saying, we just watched it again. I think the thing, whenever there's a flyby, like buzz in the tower play like that and an injury, my initial fear is always, oh fuck, did someone catch a knee, catch a hip, something down low? And Marchman definitely does. He throws a shoulder, he's trying to hit him open ice, but he does mistime it. But it's just the contact is so strange because Hyman just puts his hands out to protect himself. His hands get clipped, and then he's like, "Yep, I'm dead." So I just said to CP, I don't know if you heard it. I'm curious if there was like a pre-existing injury there for Hyman that got re-aggravated or something, because the contact seemed so minimal, but it was such an immediate reaction of like, "Oh fuck, I'm hurt."
Yeah, and then on the flip side with Hintz, it's like, oh, like what happened to him that he missed game 3 and then gets slashed in the same exact spot and is fine.
Dude, agree. I couldn't tell if Bouchard missed him a little bit because I was like, that could have been disastrous, right? Yeah. Like if you're taped up with a literal broken foot, shot up like a horse, and then you take that slash there, that could have ended his game.
Well, I mean, he reacts pretty quickly. Like his foot slides out, he lunges down. But I'm not saying anything, but I'm sure he's shot up with some shit, and I'm sure that's wrapped up. So that's probably why he was able to still play.
That's what I said. I thought he was shot up too. Yeah.
It has to be. Where are you at on this series? Obviously the Hyman injury being out is terrible. You hate to see that, but we were saying it just. Yet again here, a series with the Edmonton Oilers, it feels like this team is just playing at a different level, and I don't care if you're at home. I don't care if there's an injury. It feels like this is over in 5.
Because before you answer, I'll tell you Dallas has never won a playoff series when they went down 3-1. They're 0-16 all time.
Wow. That's a good stat. I didn't know that. What I will say, which is probably the unpopular opinion, but I do think I had a hot take the other day, because we have to do a Ninja Crispy hot take 3 days a week. I was like, I actually think Carolina has a better chance of extending the series than I think Dallas does.
Wow, that is a hot take.
But it shouldn't be that hot, right? I don't think it should be. Just with how these teams have played, sure, Florida has been more dominant, but even when Dallas has been at their best, they still haven't come close to being good enough to beat Edmonton, which is bizarre. Whereas Carolina, you felt like they just haven't been able to get to their game. So it's
haven't played their game at all.
A little bit different, right? That has a different feel to it. But also going into tonight, Carolina, if there's one team in the NHL that I would count on to win a home game, you take the last 4 games and put them aside, one singular home game, it's probably the Carolina Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. I know the Kings had the great home year this year, and I don't want to disrespect them.
So did the Canes. They had the same amount of wins, 31 wins, both of them.
I think the Canes are the best home team in the whole NHL. So, for them to make it a game 6, I would have way more faith than right now Dallas to force a game 6, just because with how good Edmonton has played, and to you guys, what you mentioned, they're defending very well and they're playing well at 5-5. It's not like the power play is just winning them hockey games. And what I want to ask you guys about, because I couldn't come up with an answer this morning, I said, is Stuart Skinner possibly entering the Conn Smythe conversation? Like, I know like he had a terrible first round, but hard to keep him out.
I think it's impossible to keep him out.
Yeah.
What's interesting is we keep talking about. I think the last couple of games we've definitely seen McDavid and Draisaitl buzzing a little bit more than they have been so far these playoffs, and it's funny to say how we always be like Connor and Leon aren't even going that much. They're 1 and 2, 1 and
24
3,
points. I think.
like,
23 points. 24 points.
It's absurd, but I do think when you look at the way things have gone, it's almost hard to not say, yeah, well, I mean, Stuart Skinner bouncing back is the reason that they're in this.
It's helping.
It's helping massively, dude.
Right?
And I know we kind of disagreed earlier, but that first period, Laz, because like you just said, we haven't seen Carolina get to their game. We've seen Dallas be great for stretches here. This, in game 3, the second period, Dallas was everywhere. They had 20 fucking shots or something. And
Right
then
before the
McDavid,
Robertson goal, it was like, oh, here they come.
yes, dude.
Yep.
And then McDavid scores with 20 seconds left, and you're like, God, we left that period 1-1.
Yep.
Last night, dude, the first period, they left 1-0 down after they were pummeling them. Like, that is a nightmare fuel if you were Dallas, because you're like, those are our best punches on the road. Like, those are incredible road playoff periods. And to leave them tied or losing, you're like, okay, well, we're dead. I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
And a ton of that, to your point, is Skinner, where he's just locked in, dude. So many flurries. And I said this to you too. And this is a credit to the Oilers, I guess, but it's like every time there's a shot and a rebound where, when you're watching on TV and you can kind of see a puck squirt loose where no one sees it yet, but the net's open and you kind of get up out of your seat. You're like, oh, this could be a goal. When it's in front of Skinner, there's never a Dallas player there. And you're like, oh my God, they could have scored, but there was no one there. And every time it happens in front of Otter, it feels like it's like on Perry's stick or on Hyman's stick. And it's just either in or an insane chance. So call it puck luck, whatever you want, but it's like, man, the Oilers seem to be like pouncing on all those opportunities.
Dude, it's interesting to that point about Skinner and Laz. I love what you said earlier about, the Canes in their win were able to finally play their game. And I had said, I'm not saying that Florida took a rest or anything like that, but I do think that was the least intense we've seen Florida play in that game 4, which allowed
it felt like that Maple Leafs game 6. Felt like the same thing.
Yes, yes, it did. And I think that's what allowed Carolina to settle into their game more. What's interesting about this Oilers team is I'm not saying, oh yeah, the Oilers aren't playing that great. They are playing great. I think they're playing better than they have all playoffs.
Yeah.
But what's weird is it's not like they're suffocating Dallas and not letting Dallas get going. Because like you mentioned, that second period in game 3 where they have 21 fucking shots, first period in last game, Dallas has the opportunity to be playing better, and they are hurting themselves. They're not hitting the net. They're not getting bodies in front. They're not capitalizing on the power play. Obviously, Edmonton has a part that's played in that, but this Dallas team is just doing themselves zero fucking favors. Zero favors in this series. It's brutal.
Laz, let me ask you this, dude. Because in the third period of the last 2 games, in games like you just want to have game 3 you want to have, game 4 you really need to have. Third period of both games, Dallas has 4 shots. And in games they're losing. And I can't remember what the score was in game 3 going into the third. Maybe it was already pretty bad.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think it was 3-1.
Yeah, which is very gettable. That's what you came back from in game 1.
McDavid scored that late one to make it 3-1, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, that's 100% right. That's 100% right. So, yeah, it's not even that bad. So you come in down 3-1 in game 3, which you just came back from in game 1, and you come in down 1-0 in game 4. In a game you fucking have to have. Yeah. And they have 4 shots, dude, in both third periods of the last 2 games, after showing they can shoot 20 times in a period, right? And I wanted to ask your take on that in general, but I just pulled this stat too. And this feels like their team is a microcosm of what we saw, the transformation we saw Zach Hyman have from regular season hits to playoff hits. Yeah. But these are the hits in the games, counting backwards. This is game 4 to game 1. Oilers have the lead in all of these. 50-24, 46-30, 49-28, 43-34. And so the only close one was the game Dallas actually did come back and win. But I just wonder if Dallas is just getting beaten. We hear it from Florida all the time. Matthew Tkachuk's like, we wear you down, but you don't really hear, that's not really the narrative in Edmonton, but I wonder if that is exactly what's happening, where Dallas has been able to muster nothing in these third periods. What do you think about that?
No, listen, that's a good point. I don't want to say like they've played I think it's been more shut down than physical.
Yeah, I hear that.
Like I don't look at Edmonton and think like they've been beating the shit out of Dallas physically. I don't like see it the same way I see it for the Panthers.
Yeah, like the eye test doesn't show it, right?
Yeah.
Great, completely.
So that's interesting. I mean, but again, like I don't see Dallas as being that kind of team really either. You know what I mean? So I think even the Bouchard thing last night, like as simple as like slashing hints on the skates, like to me, it just feels like Edmonton's ramping up for who they know their opponent's going to be, and they're probably having to channel that a little bit to go up against the Panthers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They're like, sorry, Dallas, sorry, I don't need to beat the shit out of you. I just got to get ready for Florida.
but by eye, like I don't want to sit here and like by eye test, I don't feel that way. So I don't. I mean, that's a great stat, but I don't know. That's something I'll look for, I guess, come Game 5 to see if I pick up on that. But that's not something I would say. Like saying that it was 50 to 24 last night. Yeah. That's not what I saw. You know,
I know
it didn't look so lopsided.
Like, I wonder if there's something to it just underlying where I'm like, hey, like if I'm DeBoer, maybe, I mean, it's probably fucking too late now, but I'm almost like, dude, go hit them back. Like, I know we're not this super physical team and we have all the depth and we want to score, but I'm like, we are just getting beaten up out there. Because they said that with 10 minutes left in the third, so halfway through a third period where you're down a fucking goal that you have to win, the shots were 8-1 Edmonton in the third period at the 10-minute mark. And I'm like, you're losing this game, dude. Like, what? You have one fucking shot in 10 minutes? Yeah. That can't happen. And I can't quite pinpoint what combination it is of Edmonton's physicality and lockdown or whatever, but that's insane.
They've been like, Edmonton's done a really good job at like collapsing through the middle. Everything seems to the outside. Like Dallas hasn't gotten on the inside much. And like, that's, you know, to your Skinner point before, Edmonton does a good job at protecting the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Like there aren't many chances coming from the slot. There aren't many second or third opportunities. And that's, you know, we've joked, I guess, with the McDavid clips about the defending and how he answers the questions of like, yes, we can defend. And they've shown that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's to what you just said and what you said earlier, how many plays last night even where there was a shot that whistled wide, hits the back stanchion, pops right out for a tap-in opportunity. Yeah. No one's there on Dallas.
Yeah, you're like, fuck.
A lot of plays where it's not bad rebound control, but it's just, you know, a good shot that Stu kind of drops right on the crease. No one there. No one even close to there.
Dude, you know what Dallas has been doing weird for me? I wanted to rewind this when we were watching last night, but I've seen a bunch of plays where it's like Edmonton will carry the puck up in the neutral zone, up one of the wings, and Dallas has two guys back. And a guy on Edmonton will start flying through the neutral zone. And I'm like, I can already see that I'm like, he's going to beat the Dallas defenseman to the goal. And the Dallas defenseman starts to skate back, but just like not that hard. And then the Oilers guy gets by him and they throw that like backdoor sauce and Otter makes like some crazy deflection save. And I'm like, dude, how are you're just getting outworked, outskated in these, you have to play better, dude. This is your season's on the line.
I think transition play has been devastating this series. It's just the sheer amount of odd man rushes that we see in this series. There was one point in that first period where it was just back and forth, but for the most part during this series, it just feels like Edmonton has the edge on odd man rushes like crazy, and we see it result in goals. Obviously, it was game 2 or 3.
Game 3, I think 10-0. Odd man rushes were 10-0 game 3.
And I think it was game 2. We had that, 3-on-1 with McDavid that he scores, and it's like, yeah, he's gonna fucking score that every single time. So fuck me. There's something going here for Dallas, or I should say, not going.
Yeah.
That just it has them behind. They're playing behind both literally on the score sheet and just in the flow of play all game long. It's mental.
I think a part of it too is probably their lack of skill on the blue line. Like, I mean, outside of Heiskanen and Thomas Harley, I think, those two obviously have a ton of skill, but does the rest of their blue line, like, do they make things happen from D zone into offensive zone? Like, not really. Whereas, I guess like Bischel and Petrovic, like the third line, Cody Ceci, he's not doing it. Lindell has some offensive abilities, but I wouldn't say he's elite in that category. And you kind of look at Edmonton's and, granted, like, Nurse and Kulak maybe not the most offensively gifted, but Wallman's got some flair. Klingberg's got some skill. Bouchard has played really well. I mean, Evan Bouchard's total 180 from games 1 and 2 against the Kings to where he is right now has been remarkable.
There's no doubt. I agree with you, but I am gonna challenge that
Yeah,
comment.
you challenge that. Yeah.
Just based on what you said, I don't see an advantage either side. Like,
I'm just saying, like breaking the puck out and like creating offense from your own zone, because Dallas hasn't been able to create any offense from their own zone.
Who's probably the best in both of those groups at that? Bouchard, I would say, but I would put Miro right behind him, and then I would give.
I'd say Miro at fully healthy is actually better.
Yes, I think Miro Heiskanen is a better player than Evan Bouchard. I don't even think that's close.
Yeah.
But offensively, Bouchard is wildly gifted. You have to give him that. But I mean, after that, I think it's Harley and Lindell for me. It's like, Nurse and Wallman is like, good players, but like if we're doing the three best on each side, I think Dallas has the advantage and it's not close. But they Edmonton's winning these battles. It's crazy.
Can I throw an insane CP theory at you guys?
Mm-hmm. He's my favorite. Yeah.
Just hear me out, dude. I was thinking about my boy Stu Skinner, dude. My favorite player in the league. And he's
not kidding. It's literally
I'm
his
obsessed with him, dude. That's all I think about when I go to bed is Stu Skinner. And when he has an incredible stash, right? And he rocks just the stash. Yeah. And all regular season, he was not very good, with respect, but he was just not very good. And then through 2 games of the playoffs, he's not very good.
Horrible.
Yeah, same as last year, right? Like beginning of playoffs, not very good. Gets pulled. And then when he comes back, he was great last year.
Yeah.
I would say very good.
Yeah.
And then he's been very good to great since he's come back this time. When it's just stash, he doesn't have it. But when it's stash and beard,
he does have it.
But that's why the beginning of playoffs, the beard hasn't quite come in yet. So it's not, he can't quite deliver. But now that once he gets pulled, the beard goes in, then he comes back. Stash, beard, Skinner, unbeatable. Just stash, Skinner, beatable. But now the only way to counteract this if you're Dallas is to sneak into his hotel room and shave just his beard, which feels impossible because of security and all that stuff. So I think Dallas needs to do his kryptonite. Everyone on Dallas shaves their full beard except stash. If everyone on Dallas comes out game 5 full stash.
Just full Amish.
Yeah, full just stash. I think
that Amish? I don't think that's Amish.
Wait,
I have beards?
Sorry, I thought you were saying shave just
No. They need to do Skinner's kryptonite.
You're saying Dan's saying Mo Shroot.
Yeah. No, I want just stash because that's what Skinner.
But that's his thing, dude. Kids in Rogers Place are wearing fake mustaches. I think you need to remove mustaches to show that you don't respect mustaches.
So everyone in Dallas shaves just their stash, and then shows up in Game 5. You're telling me that's not Stu's kryptonite. And I don't want it for him. He's my favorite player in the league. But you're telling me that's not Stu's kryptonite.
Listen, I'll tell you, it would get his attention. Just if Stu Skinner just had a bunch of guys on Dallas bearing down on him trying to score, and he's just looking at these guys with no mustaches, that would rattle him.
He's like, they all shaved their stash. Everyone would be talking about it on the bench.
Everyone would be talking about it in the world.
What do you think, Lass?
I agree with Sam Static in the chat. He's reaching for this take. I'm getting a little bit of Celtic pride energy. Great movie. Great.
For sure.
Sam just said one of your worst yet, CP.
I don't know, dude. Everyone says it's a bad take. If the fucking Stars come out with no mustaches in Game 5 and they win 4-0, then
it's kind of like it's giving a little bit of the. I hate that I just said it's giving. Oh my god.
Fucking Gen Z.
Yeah, but semi-pro mascara vibes.
Dude, even better reference.
Right. Like, I think that's what I'm getting from that. So
dude, they got to try something. They're getting ragdoll, dude. Come out without a stash.
Nothing to lose.
With no stashes.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose. I think that's my response to another harebrained scheme from you.
This one might be genius, dude. I'm telling you. This one might actually be fucking
Dallas is in the unique place right now where if they can do anything, and it's not like people are going to go, well, that backfired. They'll go, we're down 3-1, dude. We're 0-16 in our history down 3-1. Yeah. We had to try something.
We've always had stash. So, in those other 16, we had stashes.
Yeah.
Watch this.
I think that they've got a nice situation here where they can give something a shot.
I'm telling you, dude.
Can you imagine if that happened?
Dude, can you imagine, bro?
You're such an idiot.
Oh my god, dude. It's fucking genius.
Fucking insane how much of an idiot
but no one ever tries these things. That's the thing. They're like, oh, another dumb take. And I'm like, just try it, dude. See what happens. Just try it one time.
Makes you more aerodynamic.
Yeah, maybe they could skate with the Oilers, dude. Maybe they could skate with the fucking Oilers if they weren't holding them.
You know what? I'm starting to believe.
What do you think tonight, Lass?
I think Carolina finds a way.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Fuck yes,
Wow.
dude.
Also, our friend Chris Jastrzemski tweeted before, I believe the Panthers, let me find it. He just had it. It was a Panthers power play stat, and their power play looked horrendous in game 4. Jazz said in 5 regular season / postseason games without Sam Reinhart this year, Florida is 0 for 16 on their power play.
Damn, what a
Good
pull,
stat.
dude.
Good
That
stat.
is a great stat by Chaz.
Yeah.
Wow.
He really, it felt evident even just watching the last 2 that they can win without Sam, but that God, he kind of does stir that power play drink for them big time. I'm glad they all those boys skated, including Rhino. I don't know if he's gonna play, but just like that, you got to get on the ice, you know. And I was worried that they kept being like, "We'll see with him," but he hadn't skated yet.
Let me look at the lines.
Yeah, they all skated yesterday, and I think they were supposed to skate this morning, which I guess it is over there already. So yeah, maybe you have something.
Oh, it does. This was updated May 28th. Reinhardt is actually projected to play tonight, looks like. Rodriguez.
Oh,
Barkov,
yeah, I just see in the chat right here, all 3 of them expected to play.
Yeah, which is surprising. I thought Rhino was going to be done for the season, not because I thought the
series, you
injury.
meant, right? Not
Sorry,
just- yeah.
yes, thank you. Done for the series.
right,
Not
so
because
let's
I
fire-
thought
let's fire
it was
Jazz.
that severe. I thought it was just a precautionary thing. They were like, just sit out. And you know what? I will say, Laz, the fact that all 3 of these guys are expected to play, I think is a bit of respect for the Canes. Like, I think it's Florida being like, this team isn't going to roll over. Like, we need our guys. If we're going to beat this team, we need our guys. So I think it's a good sign for Florida, but I also think it's some respect to Carolina.
They find a way if everyone's playing Laz or pick changes now.
I still think they find a way. But to counterpoint, Katie Engelson reported that she can confirm the same group that went to Dairy Queen the night before game 2 also went to Dairy Queen last night.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh.
That's bad. That's a bad fact.
I don't know. But I have a hard time believing that Carolina loses every single home game in this series. I think they got to
Dude, I said the same thing about Tampa, though, because this is like pretty much the same script of the Florida-Tampa series. And I was like, no way does Tampa lose game 5 at home to Florida by doing it in 6. And then they just got crushed again. So I almost think I learned my lesson. I had Carolina giving them a dogfight in this series, and then I'm an idiot again. So
I had Canes in 7, Stars in 6. So what the fuck do I?
Yeah, right. Same. So it's like I think you got to go. I think I just got to believe Florida responds after the loss. I'll probably take them.
Laz, did you say that the Dairy Queen crew went back to Dairy Queen today?
Last night is
Well, okay. I was like,
what
dude,
Katie
it's
said.
fucking 10 a.m.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah,
Not today.
dude, nothing wrong with a breakfast blizzard. You shitting me? What do you got?
Breakfast blizzard. This fucking guy, dude. I just
Was that Wags laughing like that in the background?
No, it's Edge.
Oh.
unbelievable.
It sounds awesome.
I mean, it may. Yeah, we can't talk about that. I've got Florida. I think I totally hear the like. Is Carolina really going to lose all 3 at home? But I look at it like what you said, Laz. I think Florida's game 3 was Florida's game 6 against Toronto, and I think that they just come back strong. I think they come back with all these guys. I also think that they see the writing on the wall of Edmonton likely taking care of this in 5, and they don't want to be, have any more tread on the tires. I think Florida wins.
Yeah. I definitely think both of these teams want to end it at around the same time. Just neither one wants to sit around. So I think we might be in 2-5s, which I can't believe. Sometimes I feel like the conference finals go so quickly sometimes. Occasionally we've had some great epic 7 gamers, but I feel like more often than not you get like 4-1 sweeps because you're just like bad matchups, whatever.
Yeah.
And I really thought this year.
I thought last year was good. Both were 2-2 going into game 5.
Which is awesome. Yeah. And I was expecting that again this year. We could still get it, I guess. They could fight back. But I was expecting like 2 7 gamers this year, and they were like, nah. two gentlemen sweeps, get fucked.
All right, before we wrap this up, also, Laz, thanks for joining. We talked about it at the top of the show. Just want to get your opinion. What do you think as a fellow Eastern Conference team fan about the Marco Sturm rumors to the Boston Bruins head coach?
I don't think anything of it. But it's honestly like
Johnny
just,
Lads confirmed Marco Sturm disrespect.
no, it's honestly, Dan, it's just like how I even the Mike Sullivan hire for the Rangers, like I also don't think anything of it. Like
Yep.
both these teams have to fix their roster before I believe they can accomplish anything. So
Yep.
for that, like you can bring in the best coach in the history of the sport. I don't think you're getting to the Stanley Cup final with the roster they have right now. So that's just, I mean, that like, listen, maybe I'll be more excited when I see things happen come October, but right now, what's there to be excited about the Bruins roster?
That's the correct take.
That's a correct take as far as the team. What do you think more so from a standpoint of first-time head coach in the NHL, young coaching hire, kind of bucking the trend of the coaching carousel of all of these old heads?
Yeah,
Do you
I like
that movement at all?
Yeah, and listen, he's former Bruin. I'm sure like has a lot of love for the organization, and it's not one of those like big legacy names that you see coaching behind a bench now. Like I'm sure you guys have touched on Rod Brindamore too, and like how sometimes a guy who's such a big part of an organization as a player that doesn't work out as a coach, and then it gets all weird with firing, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know.
You mean maybe like the GM and vice president situation in Boston?
Yeah, that stuff too. But I like full transparency. I don't know enough about Marco Sturm as a coach, so like who am I to judge like the way he coaches? But I think it's great to see new blood. Like I'm always happy to see someone get their first chance or someone get a shot. So it's a great job to have for a guy who hopefully gets some patience from upper management, because they're not going to be good overnight. So hopefully Sturm can get like 2-3 years to turn the Bruins into a contender again, because they were nothing but a contender basically for the past 17 years outside this past season. So I always love seeing the original 6 teams competitive and good. So I hope they can get back to that next year.
Beauty. Last, I just want to call out Samantha earlier in the chat said you have new relationship glow right now.
I definitely do. Yeah.
You look amazing.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Appreciate
Dude,
that.
I really appreciate how you are treating your new relationship as if you were an A-list celebrity that you need to make a statement about it.
The whole thing started on our show last year because I was going on a first date and I brought my own ice skates to an ice skating date, and ever since then everyone was just like invested in my dating life.
Yeah.
So I've just like updated our chat like whenever something good was going dating wise.
Yeah.
And it like kind of turned into like a easy way to make fun of me, which I obviously welcome, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So I just like, I commented in Jeff Marrick's chat, like in the sheet chat, that like I had a great first date or something, because like they had asked, and he turned it into like a quote graphic. So I was like, you know what, I'll just
Oh yeah, I saw that.
yeah.
Dude.
So I was like, I'll just I'll play with it. But she loves it, so that's what's great. She's all for it.
That is literally all that matters.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can confirm she's a good sport about it. That's fantastic.
You got to
What
bring
do you
ice
guys
skates
think
to
about
every
the ice
date,
skates to a date? What do you guys
Dude,
think?
I'm glad you circled back to that.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up. I have your back on this.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
But here's the thing,
Bring
Dan.
your own ice skates to an ice skating date. Like, I don't want to stick. If I have skates, why wouldn't you bring them? I don't want to stick my feet in a bunch of shitty rental skates that have had people with gout in there. Like, get out of here.
And you'd skate horribly in
I'm
those,
acting
and then
like gout is contagious.
and then it's fucked, because then you've been like, I'm a college hockey player.
Exactly.
And then you're in rentals, and she's like, you blow, dude. So you
Exactly.
got to bring your own skates.
Okay, so let me just flip the script here, because those were both what you guys just said were my exact thought processes. I don't know if that's a word. But then someone was like, well, yeah, imagine bringing your own bowling shoes to a bowling date. That's fucking lame. And I was like, if you compare the two, yeah, that's kind of
I don't love that. I don't love that.
That's kind of lame. Like that's tough.
Wait, I don't think that's lame at all.
I think that's lame. I think that's beyond lame.
If you are
Edge just quit. Edge just quit.
Shut the fuck up, Edge. Producer Edge is getting all high and mighty here.
Joe
If you
Mazzola
are-
in your chat just said that's like
Joe,
bringing your own
yes.
clubs to Topgolf.
Dude, yes. Joe just said that in the chat, dude. That shit drives me insane.
Okay. Actually, that is a great example. By the way, Joe Maz just said another great one. Cats are 0-6 whenever a Dolphins player bangs the drum. That is such a bad fact for the Dolphins. Like, they're such a loser franchise that they go into the winningest team in the NHL right now and make them lose. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Get out of that arena, fucking bums. Top golf, I agree, Joe. I will draw the line there. But bowling, like, if you're a competitive bowler, what's wrong with bringing your shoes?
It's just lame. It's just lame.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, date. I can get down with that.
Like, you got your own ball and
well,
shoes
no,
for your
ball I think is lame if it's a date.
Yeah.
But like if you're going competitive bowling, you should bring your ball and shoes.
Yeah, I bring my own clubs when I golf.
Yeah, but not
No?
to a date, man. It was a second date.
Yeah.
You're changing the narrative.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought the chat said, like, would you bring your own shoes bowling? And I'm like, if you're just going bowling, yes.
This was all about a
Date.
date.
Yeah, if we're
It was
talking
my
date,
second
agree.
date,
Do not bring
second
shoes,
date
ball.
with this girl, and I had my skates in a bag with me.
Oh my god. God, I'm kind of torn. I'm
No,
kind of torn.
I agree on the bowling. Skating though, I don't know, man. You can't be looking like you're a pigeon out there.
What I will say is that the gods were on my side because I showed up to the rink and it started downpouring. So we pivoted and went to Dave & Buster's.
Did you have your skates with you?
No, I brought them back to my apartment and then I met her at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
They were on your side. That's amazing.
Johnny, the one thing I'll close us with that I keep wondering, because you and I have been known to rollerblade around the Santa Monica boardwalk, going to bars and shit like that, is do you bring a pair of shoes like slung over your shoulder, or do you just go into all of these bars in your blades?
In your blades.
In your blades.
And I think it's in your blades.
Yeah.
Just keep the blades on.
Me and G spent like 4 hours last spring. It was like the last day of the NHL season, roller skating on the West Side Highway in New York. We stopped at like 2 different bars. We finished at the Canuck, which Dan, you've now been to the Canuck, right?
Yes.
DP, I don't know if you have. We were at the bar in our rollerblades for like 3 hours. And funny enough, actually, like I rollerbladed. This is stupid. Actually, I shouldn't say this. I rollerbladed home basically drunk, which was dumb. I don't know. Is that legal?
Dude, so I just looked this up. No, I just looked this up last. So funny you said that, because you can get a DUI on a bike and like a fucking electric scooter, obviously all that shit out here, or at least in California. I was looking it up here, and they were like, you actually can't in California state law get a DUI on rollerblades.
Facts.
So I was like, dude,
Nothing illegal. Okay.
Nothing illegal.
Okay. Good.
huge play.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, that's gonna wrap up this episode. Laz, you're the best. Thanks for joining. Johnny has the Canes tonight.
Cats, I think.
Yeah, and we're on the Cats. But we'll stay tuned. We'll be watching all this good shit. Someone just said in the chat, if the Cats close it out, will you and I eat Dairy Queen on the podcast tonight? And the answer,
Good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
The
That's a
answer is
freebie.
The answer is yes, we will.
Laz, plug everything you got going, and then plug some merch.
Yes.
Just morning show for me, Morning Cup of Hockey on the Daily Faceoff YouTube channel every day at 9, not every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Next time you guys are on East Coast hours, we got to get you on, by the way, because Colby keeps saying we got to get you guys on, but I don't want to make you guys
100%.
Can't make you guys wake up at 6 a.m. So
I'll wake up at 6 a.m. for you.
Yeah,
all right. So yes, check out Morning Cup of Hockey. For us guys, go to the emptynetters.shop store. I'm putting it right now in the chat. We've got some awesome new merch flowing right now. We just dropped our new Lake House crew neck, which is so fucking sick. It's like, if you want to look classy, you want to look rich, get this sick ass crew neck. It's amazing. Producer Edge just popped it up on the screen. We've got great shirts for our Oilers fans, Stars fans, Cats fans, and Canes fans right now for your playoff pushes. We've got great Empty Nose merch. You've been seeing us wearing it.
New one coming out. Panthers fans, right? When does that come out?
Today.
Today? Okay.
It's going to drop today. But yeah, scoop some of that stuff. It's all in the shop right now. Amazing shit from the chat. As always, we love you guys. Dial into the game tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on the podcast episode. Make sure you subscribe, like, 5-star review, all the good shit. Love you, boys.